Let's practice. So we're going to use the strategies that we learned for multiplication, equal groups and arrays, and we're going to now apply those strategies to division. So let's have a look at the first slide that you're going to be doing. So this is size of equal groups. So at the top of here it says 12 pieces, and here are the 12 pieces below, are divided into 3 groups. So we've already said divided into. We know that in division, the largest number is what we are going to start with. So we've got our 12 here, and we've got our division symbol, and the 3 groups are written right here. I've already done this one, so that's why the answer is in there. But what I would do in order to get my 4 is I would start to share out my pieces equally into the 3 groups. So I have drawn my 3 groups because I know that I'm dividing by 3, and then I start counting to 12 as I share them in. Now, a quicker way to count up to 12 sharing in is to count by threes up to 12. So if I use my fingers and I count 3, that's 1 finger, 6 is 2 fingers, 9 is 3 fingers, 12 is 4 fingers. So the same number by counting by threes to get to 4, to get to 12, I have the same number, the 4, the quotient, our answer, in as I have in each group. So the other thing that you could use to make it more efficient is your times tables. So if you ask yourself 3 times what equals 12, and you know those times tables, you've practiced those facts, then you could either count again by threes, which is your times tables, or you could just go, oh, I know 3 times 4 is 12, so the answer is going to be 4. And that's going to be equivalent to if you were to divide these up into the 4 groups. So you're going to continue to do another slide that looks just like this, a few of them, and then it's going to come to all question marks. So you need to remember which number do we always start with. And you've got the numbers here, and it's already written up here nice and clearly for you as well. So you would make sure to start with your 27 and then divide it by, oh, there's our 3 groups, so we know what number goes here. And then we can either count by threes up to 27, distribute these dots equally into all 3 groups until we can get up to 27 dots and find out how many are in each group. So you're going to have a couple of slides where they are question marks only, and then you move on to arrays. So for the arrays, just like in multiplication, you're going to be counting the total number of tiles. Well, we can use our multiplication skills to do that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So we could count by 4s up to 8 and do them by columns, or we could count by 8 up to, or 4 times. So we would get our total of, either way, our total would be 32. And then we need to tell us, or to write down how many rows are there. And if you can remember, rows go across. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So I would go in here and I would add my 4. Number of tiles in each row. So these squares are our tiles. So in each row, I'm going to have to go, there's a row across, and we already counted that it is 8 across. So that's the same number as our columns. And then our division sentence. So we have our giant number here. That's going to be where we start with 32, and then we can either divide by the number of rows, which would be 4, and how many in Each row, we've already answered that. We've got 8. The other division question is, again, starting with 32, instead we divide by the number of columns, which is 8, and how many rows in each column? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have our 4. And that's how you're going to be using arrays to do your division problems. So there's 2 division problems, just like there are 2 multiplication problems. So guess what? After you've practiced that on a couple of tiles or a couple of slides, you are going to be doing both. In this case, you're going to relate multiplication and division. These are our fact families again. And so you are going to find out your total number of tiles. And for the multiplication, you know that it's one side by the other side. And then your total, one side by the other side, switched around, and then your total. And division sentence is going to start with your total and divide by either rows or columns. And this answer is going to change depending on whether you're dividing by rows or columns. So you have 2 where you do that as well. So good luck with that.